My name is Harriet Chibuta. I am the Executive Director of Young Women in Action. Firstly, there's need for the government to provide adequate clean water. You know, when you're talking about menstrual hygiene, there's need for water services to be adequate in all communities, be it the rural or the urban communities. And secondly, there's need for proper waste disposal mechanisms in order for the communities to be safe, for the girls to be comfortable when they're on their menstrual periods. There's need that the government is providing proper waste disposals. So I think these are the two that I would highly recommend. It's a role of everybody. So first of all, the civil society, for instance, Young Women in Action and iSanitize have a role to play in sensitizing the young girls and women. The government has a very big role to play. We can also talk about traditional and religious leaders. They need to speak against the stigma that this sexual reproductive health comes with. So it's basically a role of the entire community, from the parents and guardians on the ground to the government. So firstly, I think what would be very important is to speak against the stigma that is around sexual reproductive health access for girls and young women. I think we're all aware that there are many social and traditional practices and beliefs that are tied to young women accessing the SRHR services and information that they need. And also there's need to have the comprehensive sexuality education in the schools, because the girls and young women actually do have the right to access the information for them to make correct decisions on their reproductive health. Well, commitment, I think, is key. You know, we all go through different challenges. So civil society is advocating for instance, free sanitary pads for girls and young women. So the young girls and women should actually know that, or understand that they should still remain committed to their school. There's need for them to stay true to their goals. Everything comes to pass, negative or positive. So if we stay committed to your goal and education, definitely in the future you're going to afford the commodities that we're talking about and live a healthy life. So commitment is key. It's a very progressive step. I think we all know most of the poor people are female, and most of the poor or vulnerable households are headed by women, and it adversely affects young girls if they do not have the free sanitary towels. First of all, they're expensive, and in some cases even inaccessible. So it's a very progressive step if we're to have free sanitary towels in and out of school for the girls and young women out there. I would urge the government to seriously look into distribution of free sanitary pads to girls and young women both in and out of school. We all know that the economy currently is very bad. Prices have gone up. So for instance, there should be tax exemptions, complete tax exemptions on sanitary ware. And then that is away from free distribution of pads in schools and communities, because for the fact that the prices are very high and poverty adversely affects women and girls in Zambia, it's very important that the government critically thinks of measures and ways to just sustain and improve the sexual reproductive health lives of women and girls. It's time for action. It's your right. Let's end menstrual poverty.